Interactive Luminosity Masks plugin for Photoshop. How to use it. This short demo shows how to use the Interactive Luminosity Masks plugin for Photoshop, created by Sven Stork, svenstork.com. I wrote a detailed article about why I like it so much, chuckhenrich.com/articles. Links to Sven's and my websites are in this video's description below. You install the Interactive Luminosity Masks plugin from the Adobe Creative Cloud application. Search for Interactive Luminosity Masks, then click the Learn More button. Close Photoshop if it's open, then click the Install button. In Photoshop, you'll find the plugin in the window, Extensions, Legacy, menu. When you first open the plugin, it'll be floating. You can leave it that way or dock it to a toolbar. I dock mine. As an introduction, let's create a luminosity mask that deepens the shadows using a curves layer. Open the Interactive Luminosity Masks plugin panel. Then choose Luminosity Masks. Then choose Shadows Mask, because in this example we want to work with the shadows. Wait a moment while the plugin generates an initial luminosity mask highlighting the shadow areas of the image. Use the Shadows Feather slider to fine-tune the mask. Remember, dark means no adjustment, white areas will be adjusted. Select Curves layer to apply the luminosity mask to a new curves layer. You can name the new layer now or later. Adjust the new curves layer to darken the shadow areas. See the before and after. Only the shadow areas have been adjusted thanks to the luminosity mask. Next, let's boost the highlights on the green and white trees. See the before and after. Just the brightest leaves have been boosted. You can limit the luminosity mask to apply to just a specific area in the image, non-destructively. Group the luminosity mask adjustment layer with itself, then add a mask to the group. That approach is a good idea because it does not affect the luminosity mask, in case you change your mind. Let's limit the effect to just the green leaves by applying a group on the curves layer, then masking out just the white tree on the group. Remember, when you have an active selection and you create a new layer, Photoshop automatically applies the selection as a mask on that new layer. Group the curves layer with itself, then add a mask to the group. The group mask is already selected, so you can paint on the image to build the mask. Paint with a black brush on the group mask to hide the effect from the white tree. See the before and after. Only the green leaves are affected. You can also apply a luminosity mask to an adjustment layer that's not listed in the plugin panel. Create a luminosity mask with the plugin, choose Selection as the output, then select the adjustment layer you want. Photoshop will automatically apply the selection as a mask. For example, let's accent the brightest greens using a luminosity mask and a selective color adjustment layer. Here's how. In the plugin panel, choose Selection. Then choose the adjustment layer you want to work with. Let's use a selective color adjustment layer to accentuate the green tree. See the before and after. We've enhanced only the brightest green leaves, thanks to the luminosity mask and selective color layer, adjusting greens and yellows. The zone mask option allows you to focus on specific tones and color ranges. It's a little more advanced and more powerful. Here's an example. Choose luminosity masks, then zone mask. With the zone mask, the sliders affect the overall luminosities, not just highlights or shadows. Or you can pick a color to choose a color luminosity range to mask. Here I use the eyedropper to select a deep orange/brown to focus on the barks of trees and ground areas. Use the feather left and feather right sliders to home in on the areas you want to affect. Let's use a curves adjustment layer to darken the background. The saturation masks option might come in handy if you want to target different types of saturation levels. There aren't any supersaturated areas in this image. In this image, there are many saturated pixels, and you can use the slider to fine-tune the mask. Or we could use a low saturation mask to target areas that might benefit from a boost or some other adjustment. Why not just paint a mask on a layer with a brush? Because you end up with a mask that's too difficult to feather for a natural transition. You could play around to get a perfectly feathered mask, but it would take a lot more effort than working with a luminosity mask. And it would affect more than just the specific luminosities you want. Let's look at an example of the difference. In this example, I want to gently and seamlessly lift the light on the underside of the white tree. Here is a curves layer with a black mask where I painted white with a feathered brush. The effect is too obvious. This is the mask I painted. I could have taken more time and worked harder to tweak the mask, but that would have taken much more effort than a luminosity mask and still not give me the result I want. Let's see how the adjustment looks with a luminosity mask. Here's the adjustment using a luminosity mask limited by a group mask focused on the underside of the tree. This is the luminosity mask I created. Notice how the underside of the tree is gradually selected, brighter on the bottom and grayer on the top. That feathering of the effect is built into the luminosity mask. This is the mask I painted on the group containing the curves layer and luminosity mask. This way I non-destructively limit the luminosity mask so I can expand the effect by adding to the group mask. The luminosity mask approach is much more nuanced and believable. Easier too. The Interactive Luminosity Masks plugin for Photoshop, developed by Sven Stork, helps you create fine-tuned luminosity masks much more easily and effectively than any other approach, in my humble opinion. I wrote a detailed article about my experience using it, link in the description. Please leave a comment to let me know if this demo has been helpful.